Decoded.
Welcome to this Book Decoded episode. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, everywhere. Noise. But maybe not in the way you usually think about it.
Exactly. We tend to dismiss it as just annoying, or maybe think about really loud sounds. But the source material we looked at, it paints a very different picture. Noise is complex, often hidden, and frankly, a serious threat.
It really shifted my perspective, I have to say. I mean, did you know noise can cause permanent hearing damage? Like stuff you might not even notice for years. And it can actually affect how kids develop, mess with learning, crank up your stress hormones, wreck your sleep even if you think you slept fine.
Right, even without consciously waking up.
And even raise your risk of heart attack and stroke.
Yeah.
And this is key. It's not always about how loud it is.
That's the crucial point. It's a genuine public health issue, kind of hiding in plain sight. The statistics are, well, they're pretty stark.
Yeah, like what?
Like around 12% of kids in the U.S., 17% of adults already have permanent hearing damage from noise. And globally, we're talking potentially 1 billion young people at risk. Projections show maybe 1 in 4 people worldwide having hearing issues by 2050.
1 in 4. Wow.
And it's not just hearing loss in isolation. It's linked to things like depression, dementia, and really concerningly, delays in speech and language for young kids.
That developmental link is serious. Okay, so you mentioned it's not just loudness. We measure sound in decibels, right? This source gets into that?
It does. It explains the decibel scale is logarithmic. 10 dB is 10 times the intensity, 20 dB is 100 times. So small numbers mean big power jumps. But yeah, that's only part of the picture.
So what else is there?
Well, there's this thing called hidden hearing loss. Damage can happen to the connection between the ear and the brain way before a standard hearing test picks it up.
So you could pass a test but still have trouble processing sound.
Exactly. Your ability to understand speech and noise might be impaired, for instance.
Okay, hidden hearing loss. That's unsettling. And the source talks about different kinds of masking, too.
Right. We get energetic masking, basically.
Yeah.
A loud sound drowning out a quieter one. Simple enough. But then there's informational masking.
Informational? How does that work?
Think of the classic cocktail party problem. You're trying to follow one conversation, but other people are talking nearby. It's not that they're necessarily way louder, but your brain struggles to filter out their words, the information.
Oh, yeah. That takes effort. So your brain is actively trying to cancel out the other stuff. The distraction isn't just volume, it's complexity.
Precisely. It puts a cognitive load on you. And this fractured focus has real-world impacts. Remember that NYC school example?
The one near the subway line?
Yeah. The constant train noise hurt the kids' reading scores. They put in soundproofing, and scores improved. It shows a direct link.
That makes sense. Or like open plan offices. Everyone complains about them.
Yeah. Consistently, the #1 complaint. And often it's about lack of speech privacy, not just sheer volume. People feel stressed, fatigued, less productive. The source calls it a productivity tax.
And it can be dangerous, too. You mentioned hospitals.
Definitely. In operating rooms, background noise can mask critical alarms. Distractions, even quieter ones, have been linked to medical errors. It really shows loudness isn't the only danger.
Okay, so it hits our focus, our hearing.
Yeah.
What about like direct physical health impacts?
Big time. Chronic noise exposure keeps your body in a state of stress, fight or flight, and it seriously disrupts sleep.
Even if you don't remember waking.
Brain scans show people might have hundreds of micro-awakenings per night due to noise without any conscious awareness.
Hundreds. That's wow. And that broken sleep plus the stress, that's the heart connection.
A major factor, yeah. That chronic physiological stress contributes to increased risk for heart problems, stroke.
And this burden, this noise exposure, it isn't spread evenly, is it? The source talks about sonic injustice.
It does. It highlights how noise pollution often hits vulnerable communities hardest. Think historically red-line neighborhoods, maybe near highways or industrial zones.
Like that Detroit example, with truck traffic on residential streets.
Exactly. Constant noise, pollution, impacting sleep, health, property values. Or in Seattle, residents near Beacon Hill fighting aircraft noise as part of a broader environmental justice campaign.
It shows how noise intersects with bigger social issues, even like cultural clashes over noise, like the DC go-go music example mentioned.
Right. Noise complaints can get tangled up with gentrification and cultural identity. It's complex.
It all sounds quite heavy, but the book doesn't just leave us there, right? It talks about solutions, moving towards better soundscapes.
Thankfully, yes.
Yeah.
It shifts towards designing better acoustic environments, not just trying to muffle bad ones. Thinking proactively.
Like how?
Well, smart architectural acoustics. That example of the museum cafe using hidden sound-absorbing materials, so a big, echoey space actually feels calm and good for conversation.
Clever. And designing technology to be less annoying.
Yeah. Calm technology. Moving away from constant jarring beeps and alerts. Avoiding peak beep, as the source puts it.
Peak beep. I like that.
And designing necessary sounds thoughtfully. Like the specific sounds created for London's electric buses for safety, sure, but also to give them a sort of phonic identity that isn't unpleasant. Or rethinking hospital alarms to be distinct auditory icons rather than just stressful beeps.
Using sound positively. What about nature sounds?
That's another cool area, biophilic soundscapes. Carefully introducing sounds like water or birdsong into places like offices. It can actually help mask distracting chatter and improve focus and well-being.
So, really thinking about sound design.
It shows how much sound shapes our experience, for better or worse.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive really makes it clear noise is so much more than just annoyance. It impacts our health, our thinking, sleep, even fairness in society. It's not just about decibels.
Not at all. It's context, timing, meaning, the whole physiological and psychological response.
And it leaves us with a question, maybe for you listening. If we've gotten so good at tuning out noise, blocking it with headphones, silencing everything, are we maybe losing our ability to really listen? Not just filtering out the bad stuff, but truly hearing the important signals, connecting with our environment, connecting with each other. What happens when we stop listening?